Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this next edition of a relatively new segment here on the Autistic Super blog called, or the Autistic Super Channel and the Autistic Super blog called "The Power of the Prompt." For those of you who may be new listeners and readers here, what WordPress does, which is what the Autistic Super blog is part of, is that they from time to time they give us prompts to get us to talk about the answer and how we feel about the answer. And this one's going to be really easy, I think. Um, for this power of the prompt, the 66th power of the prompt is, what was your favorite subject in school? I could tell you I could tell you just off the top of my head, English, creative writing was my favorite subject. Going into school, history was a close second of mine. But I also there was one teacher that I really appreciated, who has since passed away. She was actually the one that actually got me into talking um, for foreign languages. I won't mention I won't mention anyone's names for the sake of the innocent, but I will say that Isabel, the first name of the teacher that I was talking to, um, really liked me. Like, she was really supportive of me, and I would say, outside of Dr. Tom Davis and God rest his soul, Larry, God rest his soul, I would say that Isabel was one of my favorite teachers because she was very she was very nice to me. She was very supportive, and she was always just very kind. And I had heard a lot of bad things about Isabel, about how she was hard, that she was strict, and I just wanted to challenge myself, I think. But one of the things that she got me to get to think about is how diverse languages can be. Um, for the brevity, I'm going to be brief on this one and say that she was a German who spoke like languages fluently, and it was like Russian. She did Spanish, French, Italian. Like, she could switch from one to another, and her native German and English too, and really did so masterfully well. I mean, that was one of those things that really like inspired me in my life. But another person that really inspired me early on in my life, um, I'll call her Nicole, was very supportive of me. I mean, she was the drama teacher, she was the theater teacher, and she was also the English teacher, and she did not sugarcoat anything. And every time we did prompts such as the one I'm doing right now, when it came to poetry, I always felt like I could be myself. I always felt like, even in high school, I found out that poetry was my calling. Like, I knew I was really good at it. Of course, I would later find out, I wouldn't find out until much later on, like 2 years, how important my poetry is, how needed my poetry is in my life. But I definitely felt more at ease. Like, I felt like I could be myself. I could be who I am. I could be myself with the mask, of course. I don't think I did anything to really think about masking in high school. Myself, mostly I thought about what people thought about me rather than who I was. Um, but that's beside the point. But I would say that doing creative things like writing, like English, were the best subjects I had. With history and with history and foreign languages being close second and third. One of the things that I liked, and I wish I did more of it in high school, was home economics. This is right around the time that this was right in the 1990s, so I wish I did a little bit more home economics. I think I would have done well there. But I'm learning more about it now as I'm getting into like baking, cooking, all that stuff. I really am. That's kind of the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of the Super Bistro for a while, because I want to make sure everything's perfect. I want to make sure that what you're seeing is what I'm experiencing live. But I also want to make sure that everything's to the best of my ability. Sometimes I need to be sometimes I need to be a little bit um, easier on myself, and that's kind of the thing that I equate to my perfectionist streak, because I always want things to be like perfect, whether it be in school or in life or at at, at work. I always like to make sure that everything's to the best of my ability. But I know I'm rambling on here, but that's going to be my answer to the power of the prompt. What was my favorite subject in school? But I will say this: I mean, I think it's always important to keep learning, no matter what it is. So if you like these videos, dear readers and viewers and listeners, please like, share, subscribe, and you can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, all that stuff. And you can check out all my videos on the autisticsuperblog.wordpress.com. Until next time, dear readers and viewers and listeners, stay safe, stay strong, and as always, shine on.